Bye weep grana weep mini bong, and welcome back to the Justin Network. Today we have a very different video than your average, something we've never done before. We're looking at a Beast Wars figure, and it's actually the reissue from, what was it, 2023 I think? Because it would have been the 25th anniversary. They reissued these, some of them, from the Beast Wars. Right now, today we've got Predacon Retrax. And I'm going to go ahead and say, because I'm sure you're wondering, why does it look so beat up? Well, interesting enough here, I bought this from the Walmart app, but you know, sometimes everything they sell on their app is not necessarily from them, it's from third-party sellers. Well, that's what happened with this one. This one is from a third-party seller, and they packaged it literally just in a bag. They just put it in a bag, and this is what it shipped in, was in the bag. So it came out like this, just broken up. So unfortunately, the opening process is not going to be quite as good as it normally was, or is, and we've got some damaged packaging here, and that's a little frustrating. I was excited to probably keep this back, but yeah, we're working with the Predacon Retrax. And here's our little dude Retrax. I say little, but he's definitely not little. This is a big bug. You know what I'm saying? He's based on what we called, growing up, a roly-poly.
He's roly-poly-oly. He's small and smart and round.
They're pill bugs. Which, funny enough, just so you guys know, pill bugs are not actually bugs. They are crustaceans, like crabs and lobsters. They are the only crustaceans that spend their entire life out of water. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that's what this is based on. A little roly-poly pill bug. But yeah, this is pretty much exactly like the one that came out in the 90s. I will say he's got all kinds of movement, but he is hard to keep it all together. So these legs will move up and down, every single one of them. The original toy had a fifth one right here. For some reason, this reissue did not. Don't know why they did that. Kind of weird. But he also has the little stinger that will come out. Get you real good.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
That kind of thing, right? He also, his antennas, each individually will move, go all the way back to there. I think on the original they stuck out, which is another weird change that they made. And then his chompers here open up. Do they click all the way back like that? They sure do. And then you press that little button right there, and they clip. That is sick. That is sick. This toy is crazy, man. Imagine having this in the 90s. It's got so much more than it can do than most Transformers nowadays. It's awesome. I did not have but one Beast Wars toy that I got from a garage sale. But man, now I'm wishing I had more because this is sick. I might have to look more into the reissues moving forward and get some more. Like I said though, his biggest thing is where he's got all these moving parts, it doesn't want to stay together super duper well. Well, stay stationary super well. See, you see that it falls over kind of like that's the bottom parts of the transformation there. But he also will roll up into a little buggy ball, just like a normal pill bug, roly-poly. I keep wanting to call it roly-poly, that's what we called it growing up. I guess they're more so known as a pill bug. But yeah, look at that. Isn't this sweet? This is such a cool toy that has so much going on for it. It's crazy that this was a thing in the 90s. That's like, Transformers, why don't you do cool stuff like this now? Come on, man. Don't get lazy, Hasbro. But yeah, it doesn't want to stay super well. Like I said, it's just because it has all the different moving parts, but I appreciate them trying. And you know what, guys? I was wrong. It will lay flat belly. I just didn't have it setting quite right. The way it came in the box was not transformed exactly perfectly. So yeah, this is what he'll look like. And then you'll do that, right? And that will ball him back up. Yeah, dude, this is sick. This is a sick toy. If I had this as a kid, I would play with this all the freaking time. And then you push that back, and they come back out. Once you get it. Oh, you see. There you go. Yeah, now he's flat back out in his pill bug. This is sick. I'm a big fan of Retrax. This video is probably going to be way too long, and it's just because I'm sitting here actually playing with the toy because I think it's so cool.
Take some time off. Enjoy yourself.
While we've got him here in his alt mode, let's go ahead and measure him out from his booty all the way to the end of his pinchers. It's going to be slightly under 8 inches. If you add the stinger in there, it's going to be pretty darn close to 9 inches. And then on the thickness scale, we'll do it from foot to foot. It's going to be about 4 inches. But yeah, I'm already blown away by this figure. So let's go ahead, get him transformed, see what he's looking like in his bot mode. So here's Retrax transformed into his bot mode. I am going to go ahead and warn you that I will not be moving him too much because it's very hard to get him to stand once you've got him this way. As you can probably tell by looking at him, his balance is not great with the way he's built. But while we do have him standing, being afraid of not being able to get him to stand back up, I'm going to go ahead and measure him while he's here. And he is about 5 3/4 inches tall. He does, okay, got a nice looking head sculpt there. He looks like an angry cow, I would say. Love that. It's got a Zurg. Yeah, Zurg from Toy Story look to it almost. It will turn all the way around. That's pretty sick. It's got a lot of movement there. So his legs do move all the way front and back like that. He can almost do a Jean-Claude Van Damme fully, but not quite. He's got some knee bends right there. His feet will... Oh, it's just the front of his toes really that move. It's not his actual foot that moves any. There's no extra joint. That's one piece, as you can tell. His hands here is where we've got some issues for me personally. So they plug in there when he's in his bug mode, and it's hard to get him to come back out necessarily. So he's got a lot of different things. Where it's all springy and through there, it uses springs for him to roll up and all that. It makes it want to continuously spring close, which I understand. Hey man, that's his gimmick. He's a roller. He springs in together, so I get it. It's going to be hard to make it not do that. So his arms can do some funny things like that, right? They can go out like that if you want to do it that way. The buttons on the back, right? The ones that made him spring up closed, you can do that. And here he's going to say a prayer. He prays that I don't get frustrated with him here on how silly it is overall with everything just not wanting to stay where it needs to be, where I would like it to be. Okay, so I did get him standing up again, and we're going to measure him up against some of the other figures we played with recently, just so you all can get a little bit of a size comparison. Putting him with the Pocket Toys Thrust. That's how they stack up against each other. And just so you all know, he is from Beast Wars, right? There he is with Origins Jazz from Buzzworthy Bumblebee. He is from Beast Wars. He's a Predacon, which was like the equivalent of a Decepticon. He was not in the Beast Wars TV show though. Here he is with Authentic Wheeljack, so y'all can kind of get an idea of how tall he is there. But as you can tell, he's super wide. He is wider than Wheeljack is tall. But yeah, he was in the comics of the Beast Wars. He was not in the TV show. And you're probably thinking, Justin, did you read the comics? No, I did not. But I grabbed this because it was a super good price and he looked really cool. A Pillbug Transformer. It's funny. I was thinking just the other day about, man, I would love a pangolin transformer. One that transforms into a pangolin. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to put it on the screen right here. And I was like, no, that's not a thing. They'll never do that. But I mean, this is pretty darn close. It's just the bug form of a pangolin, sort of, right? Pangolin's kind of like an armadillo, sort of like a sloth. But anyways, I digress. This is pretty darn close. I now have a big wish that we get a pangolin even more now after seeing this. He's not very stable, but that's okay. I mean, most of the Transformers back in the day were not. G1 from the 80s, from the ones from the 90s, G2. The stuff in the early 2000s, like with Robots in Disguise, which I had a bunch of. Not necessarily the best, but they were where it started getting better with them being able to stand on their own and balance better. That is one thing that the toys of today are going to have over this toy. A lot better balance. One cool thing I realized he could do is do like this defensive form here while he's in his bot mode. I saw this while I was looking at some pictures of him online, and this is pretty cool. I think it's cool. You've got options of things you can do here that I probably didn't even show them all in the video, intended or unintended by the designers. But hey man, just wanted to show you all that. Thought you'd think it was pretty cool. So now we move on to the rankings part of the video, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this was probably the hardest figure I've ever had to rank, because I absolutely love this figure, but it is not without its flaws, obviously, because this is just a remake of a toy from like 20 something years ago. But first off, he gets his functionality rated. That's going to be his articulation, his accessories, storage, and posing. So this is where he's going to suffer the most. His articulation was actually pretty good. I was very surprised with how good he could articulate for a figure that is this old, because if I'm not mistaken, this is all the same. He could do all that in the 90s as well. Like I said, I keep calling it a figure this old because it's basically the same mold that it was in the 90s. But he has no accessories storage because there is none, and his posing is next to zero because he can't really pose because of his balance issues. So I gave him a 3 overall. All that came from articulation pretty much. Everything else was pretty much zip. Next up was his transformation. This is how easy, creative, hard, etc. he is to transform, how fun. I gave him a 7. I thought this was really good. It was really genius, in my opinion, how they do it for him to transform. All this flips up, his head flip, this moves up. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's fun. I think it's creative though. I think that it really is. I'm like, way to go on the engineering department for the people that worked with this guy back in the 90s. And lastly, this will be his appearance getting ranked. That's going to be, remember, his likeness to the character, how well the robot and alt mode looks. I personally gave him a 6. I think the bot mode looks really good. There's obviously a lot of places that don't look great, but I think overall, for the way they were kind of inhibited by the time and what you had to do to give him the gimmicks, quote unquote, that he has, I think they did really good with making his bot mode still look pretty good. His alt mode, that's where the creme de la creme is. That's where this bot really shines. His pillbug form, that crustacean from the ground, looks really good in my opinion. He gets that 6, and I think it's deserving. You could honestly maybe even give him a 7. But yeah, this video, definitely different than your average. I hope y'all learned something about Beast Wars, about pill bugs, whatever you want to learn about. I hope that you learned it in this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. Comment like, hey, J10, this is good, this is bad. Didn't really care for the bug, really liked the bug. It's a weird old figure, I don't really care about it. I don't know, just let me know what y'all think. But either ways, please continue to like, subscribe, share. Really appreciate you guys that do that. It's very helpful to the channel. I just want to say, guys, you all mean a lot to me. And I really appreciate those that continue to watch me week after week, video after video, toy after toy. Because I love doing this, and I hope y'all love watching it. But anyways, this is your boy, Retrax, one last time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap you guys up. Until all are one, peace.